Ты говорил, это будет стандартная эвакуация. Они поджидали меня, и один из них едва ли был человеком. Он оторвал багажник моей машины.
One of the reasons we were attracted to it was because you did have two spies rather than one. And it did give us an opportunity for us to have some fun.
It was pretty straightforward to begin with, and then we added complexities. The more we had conversations with Guy and Lionel and Elizabeth and Alicia, we just
got fleshed out.
Yeah, we just sort of built it up and gave some real complexity to the character. The great thing about this is that it's not your typical comedy stuff.
Yeah.
We're not trying to be funny. It's just situations happen to be funny. Things that are said in a certain way end up being funny as opposed to
Contextually funny.
Yeah, contextually funny as opposed to cracking jokes.
Америка и Россия в одной команде – гремучая смесь. Прости, что не могу прикончить тебя сама.
It's always fun playing a character which is quite ambiguous and you don't know what side she's on. Or I think people, because of the genre, come in and have a quite clear view of the character that I play. And having that in mind, knowing that the audience would have that, gave me an advantage in a way. So I could go with that and then know that I had, there's situations when I get to flip the coin quite a few times in this film, and that gives me more layers and more levels to play with as an actor, and that's really enjoyable.
Мы пойдем, а вы двое познакомьтесь.
Упадешь мне на хвост, работаем быстро и четко, а утром обо всем забываем. Это не по-русски.
I don't think you can just do a 60s movie and release it for today's audience. But you have to give the feel of a 60s movie and give the experience that we had when we were 12, but for a modern audience, which requires something very different, which is really what Guy does as a filmmaker.
I don't think I was ever sitting at home going, I'm gonna work with Guy Ritchie one day. But I knew I was sitting at home going, man, Guy Ritchie makes great movies. And then when the opportunity came, it was like, there probably wasn't anything you could do to stop us from trying to be in this movie.
I mean, I wouldn't say a long-time dream, but you can tell from his work that he's an exceptional director. And then as soon as the opportunity arises, you jump at it.
I really wanted to work with Guy. I'm a huge fan of his work, and then the script was so wonderful, and the characters are so interesting, and such a great time period to play in, and great narrative.
I was interested to see how he got those very specific, very unique performances out of his actors, and to see how it is to shoot a Guy Ritchie film.
Твой маячок не передает сигнал.
Хочешь проверить?
Я только за.
Что ты там такое делаешь?
Стараюсь не заблудиться.
We wanted as much as possible to do things in camera, but inevitably you have to do some CGI now because you're in a competitive market, and if you're not careful, your film ends up looking too small. So really it was a combination, wasn't it? We wanted to remain authentic in the sense that we didn't really want to use too many elements that weren't inherent within a 60s production.
Every rehearsal room, every set is different depending on who's running it. I think the joy of working with Guy is he's very specific, and he has a very unique vision as a filmmaker, but he has a lot of confidence in that vision.
It's very efficient.
It's
He's very
efficient.
because as an actor you just feel very safe, and you know that he knows what he wants.
So when he says cut it, you know he's got it.
It was contained in a great way, so all of the practical effects are there in a way where it's not sort of there's nothing over the top about any of this. There's nothing that happened in this movie that you look at and go, oh, there's no way that could happen in real life. It keeps it very grounded, and especially with a very stylized sort of Cold War thriller like this, to keep it grounded and to keep the characters approachable, and like Henry was saying, to have the characters feel real, where they're doing something almost superhuman and cool, and then they trip or they drop what they're doing. Like that makes the audience go, oh, I would totally do that. And it makes it more fun, I think, for
Кстати, у вас новый позывной. Позывной? Анкл.